Welcome to the Grand Collaborations, a part of the Grand Podcast. My name is Niels Tudor Winter, and I'm the creator, editor, and host of The Grand. The Grand is now open for business, and I have therefore created the segment The Grand Collaboration, where I will launch podcast collaborations with partners. This podcast episode is a collaboration between Fundamentally Science and The Grand. Rita Gil Mata is a professional with a very big heart. She has established her own grant consultancy company that support with proposal preparation and trainings. She has been within this sector for 2 decades and has seen a lot. The recent development with drastically rising proposal numbers within Marie Curie Skłodowska-Action's Postdoctoral Fellowship ignited a spark in her to develop a training program that answers to the challenges for the beneficiaries for this crucial program. In short, the training program addresses the 3 key stakeholders to succeed with a proposal: the applicants, the supervisors, and the research managers. It is vital to see these 3 from a holistic point of view in the proposal process, especially in a program under pressure. In this podcast episode, Rita shares about the spark that ignited the idea for the training program and takes us all through what you get and how you can use the program in your quest towards funding. Please enjoy. Welcome to the Grand, the EU funding podcast. This is a part of my collaboration corner, and it makes me so happy because this is one of my good old contacts that she has supported me all along since from the early days, and she's also been a guest on my show. Rita, welcome.
Thank you, Niels. Really glad to be here.
Yeah, and you have your own company. You have been through your process in your end with in your career, and you are getting more and more solid with your consultancy company. And there's nothing that makes me more happy than to help you and support you with that in this corner. Now, we need to talk about one of the services that you're offering today, and it's a wonderful service. It's not just because we are collaborating now on a paid collaboration here, branded content, but it is a good idea. So I'm very happy that we do this. So we're going to have a conversation about that. But before we do anything of that at all, can you please introduce yourself to the dear listeners?
Yes, Niels. Thank you so much. It's really wonderful to be here, and the evolution of our partnership, of our friendship, it's also good because when you are doing things you love with people that you feel aligned with, it flows and it's good. And it's the same about the program I'm presenting here. So I have been a research manager and a supporter for scientists all over Europe to acquire European funding for research and innovation for 22 years almost now. Mm-hmm. And I'm one of those happy people that can say that loves what I love what I do. So it's really good. And particularly to the program that we're talking today, I have not only an extensive collaboration and experience with, so I have started working with postdoctoral fellowships from the Marie Curie program. It was still just called Marie Curie program back in 2008. And then, so it really matters to me because it touches the youngest and the first of the scientific careers to move and make the jump into European funding programs. So it's a very special program to me.
Yeah, and just framing that. So we're going to talk about, there's a motivation here
about supporting Marie Curie MSCA beneficiaries, and you as a career-long professional reflecting on how you do that best, and then developing something that can help them further on. Yeah. This is what we're going to talk about today. This is the conversation about. So we will talk about what is it, what's the motivation for you to work with this. I'm going to get back to that in a second, and then what you have built up for them. So let's just jump right at it. So the motivation for building up this training program, Rita, hit me.
So, Niels, I have, as said before, I have worked a lot in this program, in many different ways. Sometimes I was invited to do some trainings. Sometimes I was supporting institutions with several applicants, making reviews of the proposals. Sometimes doing both. It had so many faces. It had so many types and dynamics. And that the call of 2025 was a very special one. And actually, it's funny because the moment where I decided to create this program, I was sitting in the car. My oldest son plays basketball. And as a sports mom, like they say, many of my weekends are spent in games. And well, the game didn't start yet. I was in the car scrolling LinkedIn like we all do, and yeah, and it hit me with the results that we had, not the results of the submissions that were already incredible. So more than 17,000 MSCA PF proposals in the 2025 call, 65% more than the year before. This had already been mind-blowing for me, but it was about the results. So, and the success rates, that is less than 10%. Yeah, and and I thought at that moment, it was for me, there's one clear thing. This is not a talent problem. Europe is filled with talent.
Yeah.
This is a preparation problem. And I thought, no one is looking at this. No one is trying to fix this. And I just said to myself, I need to try and, gather up everything I know about the programs, about how universities work, about how the preparation is, because I know I have worked with so many different institutions. I need to try to build something that addresses this preparation point that, in my opinion, is one of the, of course, many characteristics that is allowing this situation to happen structurally, let's say.
So it's like this. When you are engaged, when you're an engaged professional, you always have a little bit of processing in the back of your brain. So that happened. So this is about what we have here discussed in preparation. So this is about recognizing the pain across the system, right?
Yeah. And the fact that it's the word system, it's the most important word in what you have just said. There's not just one pain, there are several pains, as many as the number of players in these ecosystems. So we have the pain of the applicants, but we also have the pain of the supervisors. We also have the pain of the research managers and of the university leaders. Everyone involved in this huge ecosystem is, at a time, doing their best. Everyone is doing their best. So everyone is trying to do what they can, but failing at it. And systematically, we need to understand and address all of those pains and come up with something that is also a response to the ecosystem. So this is one of the things why I honestly believe that the preparation that has been done so far, at least the one that I know of and that I have also done myself in the past, it's really not enough.
Yeah, and it bridges us into our next section, because we're going to just briefly have a conversation about why the traditional support is not enough. And this is not a kitschy selling section here to say that this is just to say, look, you have something that is available and support and traditional support for this, and obviously your realization and many other realization about this is that there's something here that is not, it doesn't match each other. Yeah. So can you share your thoughts about that?
Yeah. So from the point of view of the institutions, and let me start with that, because I am a research manager, have been a research manager all of my life, and even now have a company. I'm a consultant, and whenever people tell me, no, I'm a research manager. So let's just start with this institutional aspect of it. Research managers are, doing their best in the preparation of support to the applicants that are going to have their own institutions as host institutions of their applications. And, they prepare trainings, they prepare groups. Many times they don't convince people with an enough number of people to be involved. Sometimes too many people. It really depends, and it's something they don't control. So, but this offer is fragmented, because it's not the only program they have. So they have that, and they have Interact, and they have Horizon Europe, and they have national things, national funding opportunities to look at. So this is one from a very populated calendar of competing deadlines, etc. So another thing they need to attend to. So the fact that sometimes it goes to their own shoulders to prepare something that needs to be specialized for this specific program, it's not only a responsibility, it's also an anxiety. How do I prepare something to this? So okay, we have a training for that. The training itself, the experience that I have been having, that the training itself by itself without any kind of follow-up, it's good, it's fantastic, it's better than nothing, but it doesn't support the kind of pain the applicants have. So it supports the part of the research managers. Okay, I have a training for this, I'm building the formal structured support. That pain is taken care of, but not the applicants one, because the applicants, they hear the training and they need to make sense out of it, integrate it in the proposal, and articulate it with a third super important element of it, which are supervisors. Okay, so the supervisors, sometimes they are super involved and super restrictive. Sometimes they get the proposal 2 weeks before the deadline and they need to work magics. So there's not only one scenario in all of these stakeholders. There are several scenarios happening, but the applicants need some kind of support. Supervisors also need support to understand what they need to do, what is requested of them. And then, of course, university leaders are worried about making all of this work, but sometimes they are at a more higher level of involvement, and it's difficult for them to actively help research managers design something that has a start, a beginning, and an end, and that involves all of the stakeholders.
Rita, it's also in yours. We also discussed this in the pre-meeting, and we discussed it before also in other conversations, where it is the overload of people that sits in this system. So they have so many responsibilities to deal with.
Yeah, of course.
In order to sit down and have a reflected, and the time, just having the time to sit down and develop something, a training, whatever, workshop for their research teams throughout the institutes, even if it's a large university or RTO, right? They simply don't have the time.
Oh yes, definitely.
It's not a matter of not wanting or not having the capacities, but it's a matter of having the time needed to do something like this properly.
Yes, for sure. I have many discussions with research managers where I hear them talking about fantastic ideas of doing
Mhm.
things out of the box, but they are limited not only not only because of further responsibilities, but also because typically these kinds of approaches that are integrated approaches that mobilize many actors in the system, it requires validation from the higher hierarchy, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's not
Yeah, that's
easy, to sit down and prepare a presentation of a full program. This takes time. This took me a lot of time to sit down and talk with people and arrange and finally present a program that, in my opinion and according to my experience, is an integrated program that touches the whole ecosystem and can be, something ready to be served by serving the institutions.
Now, this is super bridge. You should also almost think you were a podcaster yourself. Super bridge to the core section of this conversation. That is, of course, to share what is your answer as a professional. What did you come down with of a training concept to try to solve this pain? Because we all try, right?
Of course, we all.
Yeah. Mhm. So, what did you do?
Okay, so I have built in a program that it's called the MSCA Catalyst.
Yeah.
And the word catalyzer here, it's really important. It's the idea that the program itself, it wants to be a catalyzer for good, successful proposals for MSCA PF. And it's built around one core idea that it's the most important idea for me, is that we need to have the involvement of everyone to have a very good proposal. And this means that we need to give solutions for the applicants, solutions for the supervisors, and solutions for the research managers and the university leaders to decide where do they want to invest. So we have three perspectives and three roles, three types of stakeholders, and also three types of activities integrated in the same program. So let me start with applicant training. Applicant training, it's one of the most important things. We have a lot of talent. These applicants, they really want to get the fellowship.
Yeah.
They have crazy, innovative, fantastic ideas. What they struggle with is, okay, there's a template. This is my way of, communicating with the evaluator, understanding exactly what goes where. So the first part of our program has a structured 5-session training of 3 hours each, and each session is absolutely focused into one part of the template, and they are working on the template. So it's a hands-on. When you leave the first session, you have things on your template. When you leave the second, the same. And when you come to the 5th session, you have the backbone of your template already filled in. It's not written, of course, but it's the backbone. It's there. You know what goes where. And this is the kind of information they need to be able to do the work themselves after, in developing what's there. So this is applicants training.
Mm-hmm.
The second aspect is supervisor mentoring. Okay. Supervisor, it's crucial here. And I can tell you, I have done so many reviews and so many trainings for Marie Curie PF, and I can tell you that only twice I have sat down with the applicant and their supervisor because the supervisor wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a coincidence, in my opinion, that one of them was approved and the other one had seal of excellence. So you see, because the involvement of the supervisor is crucial. And sometimes supervisors, they are not involved because first, they really don't know how they can be involved. Second, they are not clear about the evaluation criteria, what needs to be done, what needs to be prioritized. And if they don't know this, how can they guide the applicant? They can guide the applicant in the excellent science, of course, surely, but not in anything else that it's part of the strategy of the application. And then this comes to me in the third part, talking about strategy, that is the expert review. So yeah, this is when both the applicant and supervisor, they are happy, they have the proposal ready, and the institution decides, okay, from all of the applications that we have, we as an institution decide that there are some that are better, and we're going to select them, and we're going to bring them to the level of expert review, which is a deep proposal feedback before submission, and it's a work on the document. So I work collaboratively with the applicant and the supervisor in the document itself. So these three things, why do they work together? They work together because they have a sequence, and every part of it brings ownership. The applicant needs to have ownership into preparing what he learned at the training. The supervisor brings ownership because now he or she is super clear on what they want to do. And the institution brings ownership because they need to select which ones they want that move forward to expert review. So everyone is actively involved in this sequence. And I think that this is structured. There is no last minute submissions. There is no reviews last minute. Everyone is aligned. Everyone knows what's happening. And I believe that to the best extent possible, this is the recipe that we need to make sure that despite how many proposals are submitted, ours stand out.
Yeah, it's actually a little surprising that you don't have more. That's because it's a perfectly circle here of what you need to be aware of when you submit something, right? And especially the last point of avoiding the panic.
Yeah.
Because it's nobody. You can never avoid anxiety and stress in relation to submission, but you can preparation. And if you have something like this, preparation. The better prepared you are, the less panicked you are when you have to submit something. Right? It's also whatever you do in life, preparation. So yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Have you already rolled some of this out? Or?
Yeah, so we have already started working with some institutions in this program, and right now we are starting in May the training phases.
Okay.
So yeah, because of the timing, it's really important that timing is part of the preparation you were mentioning, right? So May and June are the best months for the training, okay? And then we have July for working in the proposal. So many of the expert reviews have 2 cycles. So it can be just one review, or it can be 2. It depends on what institutions have. So for the programs that we have already aligned, we are having the first cycle of review during the month of August. So
okay.
Deadline 9th of September. Just one thing, just a heads up for everyone. The platform, the funding of tenders, have been working brilliantly this year. It has been really working brilliantly. And you can see with 17,000 submissions last year. It is a feat that it hasn't broke down, but we don't know what's going to happen this year. So I would recommend everyone to forget the 9th of September deadline. Think about it as 7 or 8. You will not do miracles in your proposal in 24 hours and not submitting on something you're working for months. I have been there as someone that is working with proposals for 22 years. Yes, I have been there, and I really don't recommend. So a tip for everyone, forget the 9th of September deadline, consider the 8th. So change the deadline in your head. Now it's the 8th of September, and timing and preparation is everything. Yes, of course.
We're moving towards the end because it's a short, quick and dirty episode. Now, thanks for this. And I think the point is, of course, with the last question, to people to understand out there that you are working, you're using your experience, but you already have people in, and you do a flow. So there will, of course, be contact details here in the episode notes. You will be guided to the episode site where you can reach out. There will be links to Rita's company and to her LinkedIn site, so you can reach out if you want to hear more about this. And many of you out there that are regular listeners to this show, you are in this corner. I know, because when I do MSCA episodes, they're actually some of the popular in the popular corner.
Yeah, and there's an explanation for that. Is that this is the program for the future for us, and this is why I think it's so important. So many people are interested. If we are not investing in our researchers, that the ones that have just finished their PhDs, they're ready, they have their fresh ideas. This really matters. If we don't do something and we continue with this kind of rates, we are under problems in Europe. And I really do believe that this is one of the most important programs, because Europe is really risking losing talent by underperforming on this program.
And again, bridging into our last section before we say goodbye. So why this matters?
Yeah. Well, the feedback and the consequence of such a low success rate of last year, the impacts were already felt. Researchers start to believe that it's really too difficult. They will not do that. It's not worth the try. It's not worth the effort. And it's not this year that we will feel this. It's in 2 or 3 or 4 years where we really start having. We'll still be having approved MSCAs, but the approved MSCAs will not be of the best talent in Europe because they have just gone somewhere else. That's the risk. And so what I would like to spark the consideration, the thought is, maybe the MSCA Catalyst program is not the response. I am sure there are many others. That's not the topic. The topic is there needs to be a response. We need to try things. It's this program. Is it other? It really doesn't matter. The European advancement in science and having Europe as the first one in science across the world needs to be a flagship that we all need to defend. And supporting, investing, thinking about how to do better with MSCA PF, it's something that interests us all.
Yeah, we really need to take the opportunity that the Americans are the shit show they have on the other side of the pond, right? So destroying their own science system by defunding everything related to science. We need to pick up that opportunity. Yeah, it's indeed we cannot let AI, large language models, and super rising proposal rates destroy that, and we need to find ways to make sure that people, the good talents out there, they go for it and they have like facilitated towards that, so they can
Yeah.
vote that out. That is what we're
Yeah.
talking about here, right?
That's what really matters. That's the main goal.
On that note, Rita, thank you so much. It's been a wonderful conversation, and you are a regular on the show, and I'm looking forward to inviting you back in. Lots to talk about, and we can also have a
Yeah.
conversation on my regular show about what you're doing here. Now, let's just shut this down. So thanks for listening to the end. Hope you enjoyed this. As mentioned, there will be a website for this episode. There will be links. There will be more information about that will guide you to Rita, to her
Yep.
wonderful business here, how she's doing, the services, what she's doing, not only the MSCA trainings, but also what else she's doing there. Go check it out. I can reassure you that Rita is one of the most wonderful persons you will talk to within this area of research and funding support. So do yourself a favor, follow the links, connect, set up a meeting and have a conversation with her. You might not find an agreement on whatever you need to do, but you would at least come out with that conversation having talked to a very nice professional.
Thank you so much, Niels. I'm really looking forward to be in touch. So do not hesitate to be in touch. And I am already thinking about ideas to continue the conversations with you here at the podcast, something that really brings me a lot of pleasure. It's really fun. It's also very interesting. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Thanks. And vice versa. Rita, let's say goodbye to listeners. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
You have been listening to the Grant Collaborations, a part of the Grant podcast. This podcast episode is a collaboration between Fundamentally Science and the Grant. All episodes have their own site on the Grant website. You will find the link to the episode site where you listen to your podcast. On the site for this episode, you will find a link to Rita's LinkedIn site. Further, you'll find a link to Fundamentally Science, where you can explore more about the MSCA Catalyst training program. We truly hope you enjoyed this episode. You have been listening to the Grant Collaborations, a part of the Grant podcast.